Good morning, students. Welcome to Bindu Dhadwal chemistry lessons. Today we will solve model question paper of HP board class 11. How many significant figures are there in 0.0405? Answer is 3 significant figures. The number of electrons in an ion M2 plus will be atomic number 12 minus charge 2, 10. Go through statement 1 and 2 carefully. Statement 1, equation PV is equal to nRT does not apply to real gases at all conditions of temperature and pressure. Statement 2, for real gases, the attractive forces between the molecules cannot be neglected. Use the following key to choose the appropriate answer. So option A, if both statement 1 and 2 are correct, statement 2 is the explanation of statement 1. So option A is the correct answer. 1 mole of methane contains 4 into 6.02 into 10 raised to power 23 atoms. So answer is option C, 2.408 into 10 raised to power 24 atoms. This is because 1 molecule of methane contains 4 atoms of hydrogen. An orbital in which n is equal to 4, L is equal to 3 is expressed as 4f orbital. 4 for n and f for L. The series of hydrogen spectrum which lies in the visible region is Balmer series. The number of groups in D block elements is 10 groups because it contains 10 electrons. Which is correct in the following? Radius of chlorine atom is 0.99 angstrom and that of chloride ion is 1.54 angstrom. The elements of group 1, 2, 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17 are collectively called representative or normal elements. The correct order of atomic size of carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur follows the order A. Nitrogen is less than, carbon is less than, sulfur is less than phosphorus. This is because as we move from left to right, the atomic size decreases and from top to bottom, the size increases. Match list 1 with list 2 and select the correct answer using the codes. So lithium ion should be the smallest and iodide the largest. So lithium is 60, sodium is 95, bromide is 195 and iodide is 216 picometers. So option E is the correct answer. The combination of atoms occur because they want to attain an inert gas configuration. Option B is the correct answer. Which condition favors the bond formation? So option C, minimum potential energy and maximum attraction favors bond formation. According to Fajan's rule, necessary condition to form covalent bond is small cation and large anion because smaller cation causes greater polarization, larger anion is polarized to larger extent. The hydrogen bond is strongest in fluorine, hydrogen fluoride. This is because fluorine has the highest electronegativity. Which of the following statement is not correct? So sigma bond is weaker than pi bond is not correct. Sigma bond is stronger than the pi bond. Other statements are correct. Then which of the molecule is trigonal pyramidal? So the option C, PCl5 is trigonal pyramidal as it undergoes sp3 dehybridization. In the gas equation PV is equal to nRT, the value of universal constant depends upon the units of the measurement. At 100 degrees centigrade, a gas has 1 atmosphere pressure and 10 liter volume. Its volume at NTP would be, so we use the formula V1 upon T1 is equal to V2 upon T2. So V2 is equal to V1 T2 upon T1. Putting the values, 293.373 is less than 1. So answer will be less than 10. The total pressure of a mixture of two gases is the sum of partial pressures of each gas. This is Dalton's law of partial pressures. State and explain the law of definite proportions. So it states that a chemical compound is always found to be made up of the same elements combined together in the same fixed proportion by mass. In water, hydrogen and oxygen are always in the ratio of 1:8. Calculate the volume occupied by 22 grams of carbon dioxide at NTP. So molecular mass of carbon dioxide is 44 grams. So 1 mole of that is 44 grams will occupy 22.4 liters. So 22 gram, that is half mole, will occupy 11.2 liters. Draw and discuss the shape of p orbitals. So p orbitals are dumbbell shaped and present in x, y and z axis. So these are the shapes of x, y and z axis. State and explain Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. It states that it is not possible to measure simultaneously both the position and momentum of a microscopic particle with absolute accuracy. Mathematically, uncertainty in position into uncertainty in momentum is always greater than equal to h by 4 pi, where delta x is uncertainty in position and delta p in momentum. Explain modern periodic law. Modern periodic law may be stated as that physical and chemical properties of elements are periodic function of their atomic number. Diagonal relationship. The first element in a group shows similar physical and chemical properties which second element of the next group placed diagonally to it. In this, similarity in properties is called diagonal relationship. For example, lithium is similar in properties to magnesium placed diagonally to it. Give reasons. Size of an ion is larger than that of parent atom. An atom gains electrons to form an ion. The effective nuclear charge for electron is reduced because same nuclear charge now acts on larger number of electrons. The electron cloud is now held less tightly by the nucleus. This causes increase in size. So an ion is larger than atom. What is the difference between sigma and pi bond? A sigma bond is formed by end-to-end overlap of atomic orbitals, whereas a pi bond is formed by sidewise overlap of half-filled atomic orbitals. In sigma bond, the overlapping takes place to a larger extent, whereas in pi bond, it takes place to a lesser extent. So pi bond is a weaker bond. The molecular orbital is symmetrical about the internuclear axis, whereas in pi bond, the molecular orbital is discontinuous and consists of charged clouds above and below the plane of atoms. There can be free rotation of atoms around the sigma bond, but because of overlapping of electrons, clouds above and below the plane of atoms, the free rotation is not possible. The bond may be present between two atoms either alone or along with a pi bond. The pi bond is always present between two atoms in addition to sigma bond. In the formation of sigma, s orbitals can participate. In the formation of pi bonds, s orbitals cannot participate. Ammonia molecule has net dipole moment, while BH3 does not have. Explain. So in ammonia, which is having pyramidal shape, the nitrogen-hydrogen bond is polar in nature and the net resultant is in positive direction. Whereas in BH3, the polar bonds cancel each other and net resultant is 0. So the ammonia molecule has net dipole moment, whereas BH3 molecule does not have. State and explain Dalton's law of partial pressures. So Dalton's law of partial pressure states that the total pressure exerted by a mixture of two or more non-reacting gases in a definite volume is equal to the sum of the individual pressures which each gas would exert if it occupies the same volume alone at a constant temperature. P total will be P1 plus P2 plus P3. This is Dalton's law of partial pressures. An organic compound contains 48% carbon, 8% hydrogen, 28% nitrogen, and 16% oxygen. What is its empirical formula? To find out empirical formula, we divide the percentage with atomic mass. So carbon 48 divided by 12, 4, hydrogen 8 by 1, 8, nitrogen 28 by 14, 2, and oxygen 16 by 16, 1. So empirical formula will be C4H8N2O. What is the difference between orbit and orbital? So orbit is a well-defined circular path around the nucleus in which an electron revolves. Orbital represents the region in space around the nucleus in which the probability of finding the electron is maximum. Orbit represents the planar motion of an electron. Orbital represents the three-dimensional motion of an electron around the nucleus. Orbit gives a definite path of an electron, and this concept is not in accordance with the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Orbital does not specify a definite path, and according to this concept, electron may be anywhere, and it is according to the concept, Heisenberg's concept of uncertainty. All orbits are circular. Orbitals have different shapes. For example, S orbital is spherical. Orbits do not have directional characteristics. Except S orbitals, all other orbitals have directional characteristics. An orbit can accommodate 2n square electrons maximum. An orbital cannot accommodate more than 2 electrons. This is the difference between orbit and orbital. Half-filled and completely filled orbitals have extra stability. Why? The extra stability of half-filled and completely filled electronic configuration is due to their symmetrical arrangement and large exchange energy. Symmetrical arrangement, the symmetry leads to stability. As half-filled and fully filled are more symmetrical, they are more stable. Exchange energy. When configuration is half-filled, the number of exchanges of electrons between orbitals is more. So more exchange means more exchange energy is released, and more energy is released means more stability is attained. Similarly, fully filled configuration also show more stability. At 25 degrees centigrade and 760 millimeter of pressure, a gas occupies 600 milliliter volume. What will be its pressure at a height where the temperature is 10 centigrade and volume 640 milliliter? So according to the formula P1 V1 upon T1 is equal to P2 V2 upon T2, we get P2 is equal to P1 V1 T2 upon T1 V2. Putting the values 760 into 600 into 283 upon 298 into 640, we get the answer 76.5 millimeter is equal to 677 millimeter. So this is the pressure. Define hybridization. Explain the geometry of water molecule on the basis of hybridization. Hybridization is defined as the mixing of atomic orbitals belonging to the same atom but having slightly different energies so that a discrete distribution of energy takes place between them, resulting in the formation of new orbitals of equal energies and identical shapes. The new orbitals thus formed are known as hybrid orbitals. So in case of water, the oxygen atom is sp3 hybridized, and of the 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals, 2 are occupied by lone pair of electrons, and the remaining 2 form sigma bonds with the 1s orbital of hydrogen atom, and as a result water has a bent shape with hydrogen-oxygen hydrogen bond angle equal to 104.5 degrees. So this is all about today's video. If you like the video, please do share and subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day.